and thanks for joining us on the CBN News channel. Good morning, everyone. I'm George Thomas. After weeks of uncertainty, the Senate finally reached a deal to prevent the United States from going over the fiscal cliff, although they didn't finish the vote until just after 2 a.m. this morning. The deal does let taxes go up on some high-income Americans, and now the House of Representatives has to take up the plan. This fiscal deal passed the Senate 89-8.
I think we can say we've done some good for the country. That's
what Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said after hammering out the last-minute deal with Vice President and former Senate colleague Joe Biden. But the House, too, must agree to the deal.
You surely shouldn't predict how the House is going to vote.
The deal will block those Bush-era tax cuts going up on 99% of taxpayers. But taxes will go up on couples making $450,000 and more. That's a lot for House Republicans to swallow, not having passed a bipartisan tax increase since 1990. And they may have been soured by a White House event where President Obama appeared to some Republicans to be gloating over his victory even before the deal was done.
Keep in mind that just last month, Republicans in Congress said they would never agree to raise tax rates on the wealthiest Americans.
He comes out and calls people together and has a group standing behind him, laughs and jokes and ridicules Republicans. Why?
The deal will also put off those painful automatic spending cuts across government for 2 months. It will maintain unemployment benefits for millions of Americans, and it will prevent a hike in the alternative minimum tax for some 28 million other Americans. That is, if the deal can get passed in a House of Representatives. And these days the House rarely sees eye to eye with the Senate. Meanwhile, tourists outside the majestic Capitol building wondered why those inside were having such a tough time cutting a deal.
I can't for the life of me figure out why they can't make things work. It doesn't make a benefit to anyone. It seems like a family squabbling within itself rather than getting to the real point.
Something has gone terribly wrong when the biggest threat to the American economy is the American Congress.
Both liberal and conservative groups don't like the deal, and that may make it tougher for the House to pass it. Same-sex couples in Maryland and Maine moved quickly to take advantage of new laws allowing them to get married. Some couples in Maine got married just after midnight Saturday when that state's gay marriage law went into effect. And same-sex couples in Maryland also got married as soon as they could, just after midnight when gay marriage became legal in their state as well. Voters in both states approved same-sex marriage back in November. A federal judge has ruled that a property management company owned by the founder of Dominos Pizza does not have to implement mandatory contraception coverage in the healthcare law right away. The judge ruled in favor of Tom Monahan and his Domino's Farms Corporation. Monahan is a devout Roman Catholic. He says contraception is not healthcare, but a gravely immoral practice. The Hobby Lobby company will not provide the morning after and week after pills in its employee insurance plan when the healthcare mandate takes effect today. The owners of Hobby Lobby say they have to remain true to their faith. They risk fines of more than $1 million a day for ignoring the Obamacare mandate. The company is still fighting the law in court. It's a new year and time for a new trend in Colorado. The first marijuana clubs have begun popping up there after voters legalized recreational pot smoking. But Colorado's new amendment prohibits public marijuana consumption, and that's why some pot smokers headed indoors to Club 64.
Club 64 is a gathering of individuals in a free country who like to exercise their constitutional rights together, which the voters of Colorado wisely gave us. It smells like freedom.
Club 64 gets its name from the number of the amendment. The club opened up in near downtown Denver, and about 200 people are already signed up. It costs about $30 to join Bring Your Own Pot Club. A similar club also reportedly opened in a small southern Colorado town called Del Norte. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is being treated for a blood clot near her brain. She's been given blood thinners to dissolve the clot. Doctors say they are confident she will make a full recovery, and they say she did not suffer a stroke or neurological damage. The clot formed after she suffered a concussion during a fainting spell in early November. The Centers for Disease Control says Norovirus may be the culprit behind terrible outbreaks on 2 Christmas cruises. More than 400 passengers were sickened on those Caribbean vacations. The CDC says millions of people will be infected by the norovirus this winter. Right now, we are at peak season for the highly contagious stomach bug. Lori Johnson shows us what can be done to protect ourselves.
The norovirus is transmitted on objects, not in the air. But it's robust, living up to 2 weeks on hard surfaces and up to 2 months in cold water. It causes vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps that last about 2 days. The norovirus can spread like wildfire in crowded places like schools or confined areas like cruise ships. It's one of the leading causes of food poisoning, transmitted most often by eating salad food, raw oysters, or when any food comes in contact with contaminated hands or countertops.
Between 12 and 72 hours will be the incubation period. And that makes it tough to figure out what it was that you ate that got you sick. You can usually do a little investigative work talking to your friends about if you both had the same meal and they got sick, you can trace it back to that.
Although a whopping 1 in 15 people gets the norovirus, it's usually not very serious. But the diarrhea and vomiting it causes can sometimes lead to severe dehydration, so make sure to drink plenty of water. Keeping your hands clean is the best way to avoid getting the norovirus. Also, carefully wash your raw food, disinfect surfaces with diluted bleach or a cleaner that contains bleach, and immediately wash and machine dry clothes that may have been infected. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Thousands of young Christians who finished 2012 at the Urbana Student Missions Conference are starting the new year with commitments to serve God as missionaries. Urbana Director Tom Lynn says more than 4,000 of the 16,000 students who attended the 5-day conference in St. Louis committed to more than 2 years of missionary service in their lives. Lynn says they accepted the challenge to both proclaim the gospel and to demonstrate Christian love through service to those in need. Well, the world rang in 2013 last year with spectacular fireworks and showers of confetti.